welcome to the Field House Museum. My name is Nicole and I want to thank you today for joining us for our first ever online museum school days. So a few times a year, the staff here, we get together to further our educational mission, and we create this day for students and teachers to come down and see what we're all about, and we have themes for each tour. Today's theme is going to be toys. If you know a little bit about us, you know that we are home to the Field family. Roswell Field, the father, was the lawyer for the Dred Scott case that brought the case all the way to the Supreme Court. His son Eugene was a newspaperman here in St. Louis, Chicago, and Denver, and he was also known as the children's poet, and he was famous for many of his poems, including The Gingham Dog and the Calico Cat, Winkum, Blink, and a Nod, and Little Boy Blue. So now you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with toys? Well, Eugene was an avid toy collector. Some would even say he never really grew up. And part of our collection consists of not only these toys, but of some of the toys that Eugene owned during his lifetime. Though he passed away in 1895, we do have in our collection 7 of his toys, which you're not going to get to see today. You'll have to come down here in person to see them, or if you go to our gift shop, you can sign up to take a virtual tour led by our docents, and this tour includes the first and second floor of our historic house. So to get us started today, I want to introduce you to our jacks. So these are from about the 1940s. They came with this nice little cloth bag here. Over time, this cloth is really stiffened up, but this is not actually leather. This is an oil paint, and you can kind of see, although the design has worn away, a pond or garden. You have a fish possibly jumping into water. So this set includes 18 metal jacks and a rubber ball. The rubber is pretty old, so I don't think it actually bounces anymore. But the idea of this game is that you would bounce it, it would go up, you'd grab a jack before the ball would come back down. And I prefer the plastic jacks that they make nowadays, just because if one gets left out at night and you step on it, well, let's just say it hurts a lot worse than stepping on a Lego. Moving on to our next toy for today is we have our jack straws. So this game is a little bit different than the other ones you're going to see today. This was made by the Parker brothers in about the 1930s, 1940s, so sometime in between the Great Depression and the start of World War II. This particular set is made with pieces of made from balsa wood, and they're not the pointed sticks. You have a little rake. There's hammers and scythes or axes. So this is really different, and there's little numbers that we think correspond to points that you would get when picking them up. So what you would do with this game, as well as with the others, is you would gather them all up in a bunch like this. You let them go and they would fall in a pile. This particular set comes with this little hook, 2 of them actually, and you would use these to try and pick up the sticks. So let's see if I can do this. And the point is to try and get them without disturbing the other one. Let's see if I can get this one right here. Well, obviously I lost. I started disturbing those other ones. So it would be the next person's turn, but we're gonna move on to the next one. So this next one is Let's Play Fiddlesticks. This is also from the 1930s. This one was made by the Plaza Manufacturing Company of New York. So this one has your standard, what you find with most pickup sticks sets nowadays, is you have one stick here. This set is purple. It is called the Major, and this one, whenever you pick it up, would allow for you to kind of move some of the other sticks to get to the one that you want. And the colors do have different points. So this purple one here is worth the most. This particular set includes 16 orange, 15 blue, 5 green, and 5 red sticks. So that's that particular set. In this set, we do have the instructions in here as well. This is a cardboard tubing. Our next set we have is 4, 5, 6 pickup sticks made by the O. Schoenhutz Incorporated. This was made in Philadelphia, and you can see that it does say the continental game. This was really popular in the colonies. It was easy to play, easy to store, and if you broke a piece, it was really easy to replace. This particular set comes with 1 black stick, 19 red, 17 yellow, 5 green, and 5 blue. This is actually in really great condition. Again, this is cardboard, which is what you'll find a lot of these games in. And here we have Pick-Up Sticks. This was made by the Whitman Publishing Group in the 1930s, 1940s. This particular set comes with 1 black stick, 6 green, 6 blue, 14 yellow, and 14 red. And we know how many sticks each of these come with because these do all have their instructions with them. So you'll find that it doesn't really matter how many sticks you have, you can still play the game. And this one right here is made by the same company. At this time, when it was made in 1986, it was known as the Whitman Western Publishing Company. And this particular set comes with plastic sticks. It has 1 black, 11 yellow, 11 red, 4 blue, and 4 green. So even in the time between when this was made in 1937 and 1986, the number of sticks varied between them. So, yeah. And now for something I really wish that we could show you better. Unfortunately, we don't have a good way for you to see through them, but we do have some of the kaleidoscopes from our collection. So our first kaleidoscope here, we don't really have an age for it. We know it's old because it is very heavy, very large, and the plating here is made of glass. So for the kaleidoscope that are made of glass, they're either really old or they're really expensive. This particular one also is covered in papered cardboard tubing, and it has this Victorian type picture pasted on it of a nurse, it looks like, by the apron and the head dressing. And then there's also this lovely little chain here that allows you to hold it. Inside there are little pieces of glass that are colorful to make the designs commonly associated with the kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscopes were not originally meant to be a toy. They were originally meant to inspire artists when it comes to paintings or creating mosaics, anything artistic. So our next 2 that we have here, these were made by the same company. They were made by Stevens Manufacturing Company, based out of here in St. Louis. They were made between 1943 and 1964 here in St. Louis before they moved to Herman. So this first one here we do know was made in 1943 to 1945. So this is called the Millions of Designs Kaleidoscope. This one is also rather heavy, so the coverings are likely glass. They may be plastic though. It's a little bit hard to tell if it is plastic. It's quite thick. Inside there is little bits of colored glass that move around, and this is definitely a thicker of the cardboard tubing. So our other Stevens was made in 1948, and this one is for sure plastic. You can tell by how it kind of is moved down, it's kind of folded, and if you touch it, it moves. It does also have, though, on the bottom, the colorful glass pieces that you can't really see very well through the opaque plastic. But this was also made here in St. Louis. And our last kaleidoscope is really neat. We believe it was made in Japan, likely around the 50s, 60s, somewhere in there, possibly by, how do I say this? By the Kaleidoscope. It's a very popular maker of kaleidoscopes over in Japan. But this is cardboard tubing with metal, and you have here on the inside, instead of a mirror, you actually see the glass. And you're probably wondering, where are the pretty parts? Well, those are actually on the table right here. So this particular one comes with 3 caps that have the fun little shapes and glass and plastic bits in it. And what you would do is you would stick it onto the end, and then you kind of twist it or move it however. You can see where it's been worn down, so I'm not gonna put this on very hard. But those are the kaleidoscopes that we have in our collection. As part of this, we also have video that you can follow after, that is making your own kaleidoscope. Now that is going to take some parental guidance on that because you're going to have to use hot glue. So make sure you have a parent helping with that. And if you don't want to make your own, in our gift shop online, we do offer this lovely kaleidoscope that was handmade by an artist here in St. Louis. We also have jacks. This one comes with 2 bouncy balls and the metal jacks. So be careful if you leave those out. And then we also have a couple of different variations of pickup sticks. So we want to thank you all for joining us today. Make sure that you check out our website underneath our educational programming and our museum school days tab, where you're going to find an informational packet, which will include a transcript of the video here, as well as more in-depth histories for these toys, so more in-depth history of the jacks and the sticks and the kaleidoscopes, as well as information on how to play the games, written instructions on how to make your own kaleidoscope, as well as a link to our other video. So again, we just want to thank you. We want to thank our sponsors who make programs like these possible, and we hope to see you in person once we reopen. Thank you.